I was wondering when YouTube Heroes would come up. So here's my thoughts on YouTube Heroes. So I've seen from the video that there's about 3,000 likes on it, and there's 200,000 dislikes. So the vast majority of people do not like this system. More people watch it and it gets spread around and they're like, no, I don't want you doing all these things. I think the purpose of the YouTube Heroes is to make YouTube community moderated. Like, you have message forums, you got Reddit, and Reddit has people who are moderators, and the moderators decide which content is good, which content is bad. You set up some rules, and, well, YouTube has had problems with poor quality videos or advertisers not wanting to put ads up on there because people are going and fucking swearing at everything. And they want more family-friendly, advertiser-friendly content on there. So YouTube has been trying to pull in more revenue, or become more corporate, as it were. And them going about this, it seems like Google itself has gotten to a point where they care less about people and more about mass amounts of data. It's just gotten to the point where it seems like they don't care about anybody except robots. And the robots, well, the robots are the ones that give them data, and they're the ones that tell them directly whether they're doing well or whether they're not doing well. So what they wanted to do was make a whole system that would work sort of like robots, where everybody gets on and we want this content to be marked as good and this one to be marked as bad, and hey, let's add subtitles to everything. We'll give everybody points for moderating on this platform that we already have called YouTube. And we'll just gamify it so that people will have this thing go off in their head and they go, yeah, points. I'm getting points for helping out YouTube. I feel so good about this. When in fact, they're just moderators for the content. And what happens is YouTube doesn't really put any guidelines on how content should be moderated. There are some people who are going to have good stuff, and there are some people who are going to be bad stuff. They have community guidelines, but they're going to have people who are going to start flagging things based on their own personal opinions, not about whether they follow the rules or not. The problem with introducing this kind of system into YouTube at such a late stage is that there's so much money involved. And when you get that much money involved, people are looking at it, they're going, I can have power here, I can influence people's decisions, and we can get the people we don't like taken out of YouTube. So if you're a large enough corporation, like let's say Reddit is going to go start making YouTube Heroes. Reddit starts paying people to, whenever they find an anti-Reddit video, go report it, go downvote it, go do all of these things that you would do already, and you get enough people doing it at the same time, and they'll be able to abuse the system by consensus, because that's what the whole thing is based on, consensus of people. You're not actually looking for objective truth, you're looking for what most people think could be the truth. Yeah, that's right. Some of the things in YouTube Heroes is okay. Like the subtitles is fine. Yeah, the subtitles is great. I really like them trying to subtitle more and more content on YouTube. But as you get higher in levels, you get access to mass flagging of video capability. That's shady at best. Oh, and if you get high enough level in there, you actually get to talk to YouTube employees. That strikes me as either short-sighted or poor marketing, because you get people already involved in YouTube that like, you're the content creators. You have a problem sometimes, and you have to go call up YouTube to have them talk to you to fix your problem. But YouTube is not really available. YouTube goes, nope, this is not something we want to deal with. There's so many people, and if we deal with one person, we have to deal with everybody. So just hands off, except for even some of the biggest ones have problems with this. So I think that YouTube Heroes is actually going to drive people away from YouTube. They'll start looking for better alternatives. Or the other alternatives will see YouTube Heroes as a chance to either put in similar rules, or, well, if one successful company is doing it, then the other companies that want to be successful are going to follow suit. Yeah, I'm really not a fan of it. Like the content ID system on YouTube, it reeks of being able to be abused by groups of people or corporations. It's really pandering to... I mean, YouTube has so much content on there. I could see why they would make this kind of system. They go, okay, well, we've got so much content that we can't have robots just taking things down at random. We'll have people, and people will take things down for us, and we will give them points. Basically crowdsourcing moderation on their site. It's a great idea. In fact, I would be all for it if it wasn't so shady about the way they went about it. If it wasn't so corporate, and if it didn't seem like it was pandering to the kinds of people who you don't really want to have this kind of power. Like, and why is it called Heroes? Heroes and Glory. The terminology that they're using there smells bad. If you put it up to the sniff test, you will sniff it and go, why is it like this? It smells bad, even if the idea is good. We don't want the kind of people that you want glory out of YouTube to be moderating our stuff. We want the people who are invested in YouTube and like the content platform. We want the people who like the place for the sake of liking YouTube to be doing this. We don't want the people who want to feel like they have power over each other doing this. I think I think Google has listened to the feminists a bit too much. I mean, they had a bunch of feminists come and talk to them, was it a year or two ago? And they probably came up and said, we need this and that and this thing, and, well, we need to have more women in this place, so here, let's get a bunch of vocal women that are community leaders, but they're only really niche community leaders in their own little section of the world. I really don't want YouTube to be flagging people for putting up problematic stuff. YouTube is entirely community driven, and the reason that it's good is because we can have things that go back and forth, and the reason that it does so well is because we have so much variety in content, and there's all of this content that people wanted to watch, or maybe they didn't know they wanted to watch, and they can just watch now. Hear people talk about anything that comes along. Anybody who has an interesting persona is capable of being watched. And it seems like YouTube is trying to drive the interesting but smaller people away. So, wouldn't the YouTube Heroes video be taken down under its own rules? You put Kappa on there, but it actually would be taken down under its own rules because the video has been so downvoted that it would be an easy target for anybody looking to just flag it and remove it. It's like, well, obviously people don't like this. Obviously, the video that's up here is not following community guidelines, or maybe it's just a really bad video. Either way, we just don't want it on here anymore. So we're gonna remove it.